Hey warriors, you think your story is small? Nah, you're about to realize it's a weapon, a storm, a legacy, waiting to explode. Yeah, I see you sitting there scrolling, doubting, wondering, do they even see me? Oh, they tried to crush you, tried to erase your name, tried to bury your fire, but guess what? They failed. Big time. This video, it's not just a speech, it's a call, a revelation, a spark in your chest. Every word, every line is built for you, for the fighters, the ones who felt betrayed, humiliated, underestimated, the ones who were told they couldn't rise. And here's the truth. What was done to you? Yeah, that sickness beyond belief. That darkness they tried to force into your mind. It's the exact fuel, the secret ingredient that will make your story famous. You feel me? Oh, wow. It's about to hit hard like nothing you've ever seen. So stay with me. Watch till the end, because what you're about to hear will change the way you see yourself forever. Comment below. Share your fire. Show the world that your story is untouchable. And yo, real talk. Shout out to you, yeah. You watching this, the ones still standing after everything, the ones still breathing, still dreaming, still plotting your rise. This video, this monologue, it's your tribute, your anthem, your spark to light up the world. Now, lean in, pay attention, because your story, your legend, your fame is waiting. And once you hear this, once it sinks in, nothing will ever be the same. They thought you were fragile. They thought silence was weakness. They thought they could erase you. Oh wow, they were wrong. Do you feel it? That sting in your chest when someone smiles at you while plotting your collapse? That invisible hand pressing down, whispering lies, mocking your very essence? Yeah, that was their world. And they loved it. They thrived on it. They fed on the idea that you would fold, that your story would be lost before it even began. But here's the truth. Pain doesn't break you. It carves you. It chisels you into something no one can ignore. The very cruelty they thought would silence you becomes your echo, your voice, sharper than any shout. You've been underestimated by people who wear masks of civility while hiding claws beneath. They saw your ambition, your quiet resilience, and they laughed. Nah, they didn't just laugh. They plotted, they whispered, they maneuvered behind doors you never knew existed. And in their arrogance, they assumed you would crumble like fragile porcelain. But listen, every sneer they threw, every slight, every attempt to diminish your existence planted the seeds of something unstoppable inside you. A sickness? Yes. A sickness? Yes. But not in them. In what they did to you. A sickness beyond belief. A darkness meant to destroy, but instead, it becomes your signature. Think about it for a moment. Really think. All the manipulation, all the betrayal, all the quiet torment, they handed you the tools of transformation without realizing it. Every wound, every humiliation, every whispered lie about you is a story waiting to erupt. Do you feel that? That electric pulse? That's your story, demanding to be told. And the world? The world doesn't know what's coming. They don't even realize the magnitude of what they've unleashed. Here's the brutal truth. Survival alone isn't enough. Surviving is for the ordinary. You were never meant to just survive. Oh wow, no. You were meant to take this sickness, this assault on your being, and turn it into something larger than life, something legendary. It's not just about standing again. It's about standing taller, sharper, and more untouchable than ever before. Every scar is a chapter. Every scar is a mark of inevitability. And once you see it this way, everything changes. You stop feeling small. You stop fearing the darkness they tried to drown you in. Yeah, let them think they've won. Let them believe that the whispers, the lies, the attempts to erase your brilliance have worked. Because while they are busy counting victories in the shadows, you are learning the rhythm of power, the beat of patience, the art of transformation. Their cruelty, their sickness, it is the fuel. And with that fuel, you ignite. You become a force that no one can bargain with. A story too vivid, too raw, too undeniable to ignore. Every second of doubt, every flicker of fear, every thought of giving up, they've already walked through that corridor. But you are learning to navigate it, map it, and own it. The breaking point they imagined for you, it's just the beginning. And here's the hook. The moment you realize that what was done to you is not the end, but the ignition of a legend. Some people think power comes from privilege. You learned it comes from surviving the poison. Oh, do you remember the taste? That bitter concoction they tried to force down your throat, disguised as help, advice, friendship? Yeah, they thought they could shape you, twist you, turn you into something small, something ordinary. But here's the truth. Poison only works if you drink it without question. And you didn't just sip it. You stared at it down. You let it teach you. Every lie, every manipulation, every hidden dagger of betrayal. It wasn't meant for you to rise. That was their plan. Nah. They didn't want to see you shine. They wanted shadows, whispers, submission. And yet, paradoxically, their attempts to diminish you became the blueprint for your power. Every insult became a spark. Every betrayal is a lesson in human weakness and human opportunity. Every attempt to erase your existence became a map to your own resilience. Oh wow. Think about that. They tried to crush you, and instead, they ignited a fire. The poison was meant to kill your spirit, but all it did was sharpen it, awaken it. It taught you patience when you wanted to explode. It taught you strategy when chaos surrounded you. It taught you that the world doesn't hand victory to the gentle. The world only notices the ones who can turn suffering into spectacle, weakness into legend. And here's the dark beauty of it. You don't need their approval. You don't need applause. You don't need permission. Every cruel word they spoke, every attempt to control your path only highlighted the raw force within you. That sickness they inflicted, it's yours now. Yours to mold, yours to wield, yours to transform into something unstoppable. You begin to see it, don't you? That the very poison meant to weaken you is the key to your elevation. Oh yes, you are not broken, you are awakening. Each moment of doubt, every flicker of fear, They are just shadows, tests of your growing strength. And you move through them like a storm, unstoppable, unpredictable, undeniable. Every scar, every scarred memory, every betrayal they thought would erase you, it's your fuel. And now the question emerges. How do you turn this sickness, this darkness, this calculated cruelty into a story so magnetic that the world cannot ignore it? The answer is closer than you think. Pain is not the enemy. Pain is the sculptor. Betrayal, the chisel. Anguish, the fire. Oh, can you feel it? That raw, unrelenting ache that gnawed at your chest when the world turned its back? Yeah, they tried to convince you it was a weakness, that surviving it would make you ordinary. No, they didn't see the truth. They didn't know that every wound, every scar, every betrayal carries a hidden power. That agony, that chaos, is a crucible. And you are the alchemist. Imagine it. Every insult whispered behind your back, every sneer designed to undermine you, every attempt to cage your mind, they didn't destroy you. No, they refined you, stripped away everything superficial, exposed the core of what you truly are. Oh wow, it is brutal, it is raw. But it is also brilliant. Because now, in the wreckage of their cruelty, you see patterns, opportunities, openings, a way to turn suffering into something untouchable. This is the transformation they never understood. The sickness they inflicted, meant to paralyze, instead sharpens. Every tear shed becomes a note of strategy. Every moment of doubt, a flash of insight. And the fire is intoxicating. It forces focus. It forces clarity. It forces one truth. Your story is yours to command, your suffering yours to wield. And in wielding it, you become more than a survivor. You become a force, a presence, a story too vivid to ignore. Oh, the irony. They tried to break you, but breaking is just the prelude to building. Every fracture is a blueprint. Every betrayal, a tool. Every moment of despair, a spark. And when you embrace it, when you fully inhabit that fire, something extraordinary happens. The pain becomes your art. The darkness, your canvas. And suddenly, you are unstoppable. You are inevitable. Yeah. Take a breath and look at what you've become. The chaos that once threatened to consume you now flows through you like electricity, fueling every decision, every step, every calculated move. The world may still doubt you. They may still try to write your story for you, but you are already rewriting it. Line by line, scar by scar, moment by moment. And they will read it. They will feel it. They will remember. And here's the truth. The ultimate revelation of this alchemy. Power isn't about revenge. Power isn't about recognition. Power is the mastery of your own story, the transformation of pain into presence, the elevation of what was meant to harm into what cannot be touched. Legends aren't born. They're forged from fire, carved by betrayal, and painted with scars. Oh, can you feel the weight of it? That moment when you realize the world tried to break you, tried to write your story for you, and yet you are still here, standing, breathing, sharper than ever. Yeah, it is intoxicating. Every scar, Every wound, every shadow of doubt has led you to this point. They believed they were sculpting you into weakness, but nah, weakness was never in your design. You were always meant for more. Look closely. The whispers, the sneers, the attempts to erase your brilliance, they are the proof of your rise. They are the map of your untouchable presence. And the beauty is in the transformation. What was meant to humiliate you, to control you, to diminish you, becomes the very stage upon which your legend is performed. Oh wow. Do you see it now? Every betrayal is a step. Every insult a lesson. Every shadow a spotlight. This is the moment where survival evolves into mastery. The pain, the chaos, the sickness, it all converges into clarity. You begin to understand that fame is not applause, not recognition, not validation from the blind or the envious. Fame is the inevitable acknowledgement of a story too powerful, too raw, too unstoppable to be ignored. And your story is exactly that. Oh, the irony. They tried to crush you with cruelty, and instead, they have illuminated your path. Every moment of despair, every flicker of doubt, every attempt to cage your mind becomes fuel. It sharpens your vision, strengthens your will, and solidifies your presence. You are no longer reacting. You are commanding. You are no longer surviving. You are performing, a force of inevitability. Yeah, take it in. The world may still whisper, may still doubt, may still try to manipulate, but you are beyond their reach. Every scar is a signature, every wound a blueprint, every moment of past suffering, a cornerstone of legend. The sickness they inflicted is no longer a threat. It is the foundation of everything you are about to become. And here's the revelation. The ultimate power of transformation. You do not rise by fighting others. You rise by mastering yourself, by embracing the chaos they tried to give you, by turning pain into presence, suffering into strategy, betrayal into brilliance. Power is not taken. Power is earned in silence, forged in fire, and worn like a crown no one can touch. Oh, do you feel it? That electric pulse in your chest? The one that tells you every trial, every betrayal, every attempt to break you was never wasted? Yeah, they thought they were shaping your end. But nah, they were crafting the beginning of your legend. Every scar, every wound, every whispered doubt, it is yours now. Yours to mold, yours to wield, yours to shine with. Every obstacle, every cruel hand that tried to push you down, it became a stepping stone. The sickness they inflicted, it is not a curse. It is the blueprint of inevitability. Oh wow, the irony. The very darkness meant to consume you now illuminates your path. It sharpens your focus, fuels your determination, and cements your presence. Every action you take, every word you speak, every glance you give, carries the weight of one who has endured, survived, and mastered the chaos around them. This is where the transformation becomes absolute. You are no longer reacting. You are creating. You are performing. You are the story. They cannot erase it. They cannot silence it. They cannot control it. Every scar tells a chapter. Every betrayal paints a stroke on the canvas of your legend. And now, with clarity, you see the crown waiting for you, hidden in plain sight, forged from every ounce of adversity they thought would destroy you. Yeah, it's intoxicating to realize that what was meant to diminish you now elevates you beyond imagination. The whispers, the shadows, the underhanded attempts to manipulate your path, they are the foundation upon which you build your fame. Fame is not granted by applause. Fame is the inevitable acknowledgement of a story too raw, too real, too untouchable to be ignored. And your story is exactly that. Oh, the world may still doubt. The world may still underestimate. But their doubt is irrelevant. Their underestimation is irrelevant. Because you know something they will never grasp. Fame is born from mastery of self, from turning what was meant to harm you into a spectacle of brilliance, from wearing the crown that only the broken, the tested, and the relentless can claim. And now, with every step, every move, every breath, you claim it. The crown is yours, the story is yours, the presence is yours, and the world, oh yes, the world will watch, will marvel, will remember. So here we are at the end. Did you feel it? That spark, that fire, that unstoppable force inside you? Yeah, that's your story. Oh wow, they tried to break you, tried to silence you, tried to turn your life into a tragedy. Nah, but look at you, still standing, sharper, stronger, untouchable. Every scar, every betrayal, every moment of doubt, it was all fuel, your weapon, your crown. And now, the world doesn't decide your fame. You do. Your story will make you famous. The sickness they inflicted, it's gone, transformed into power, into strategy, into the legacy no one can erase. Comment below. Share your journey. Let the world feel your fire. Oh yeah, I see you, the fighters, the dreamers, the ones who refuse to bow. This is your tribute. This is your anthem. This is the moment you rise above everything that tries to hold you down. Remember, legends aren't born. They're forged through chaos, pain, and fire. And now you're unstoppable, unforgettable, inevitable. So stand tall, embrace the scars, own your story, and let the world remember the name that refused to be erased. Oh wow, your story begins now. And trust me, once it starts, nothing will ever be the same. Aha, you think they had you under control. Nah, they tried to sell your soul for coins? Unbelievable, right? But here's the twist. They failed. Yeah, they sacrificed you, thinking victory was theirs. But wow, the storm inside you, it's untouchable. You're about to see the truth, the raw, dark truth of what happens when greed meets the wrong spirit, the wrong force. And trust me, every second of this story, every word, every punch of reality will hit you deep. So stay with me. Watch the full video, because what you're about to hear could change how you see everything. And hey, yeah, I see you, my warriors, my real ones, my untouchables out there. Your patience, your focus, your resilience, it's legendary. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Shout it out. Let the world know they tried and still got nothing from you. So buckle up, lean in, and remember this. They sacrificed you for money and still didn't get what they wanted. This isn't just a story. It's your anthem, your rise, your unstoppable truth. The knife wasn't meant to pierce them. It was aimed at you. You felt it, didn't you? That subtle shift, like a shadow creeping under your skin. Oh wow. At first it was almost invisible. A slight glance too long. A handshake that lingered just enough to sting. A promise made with the softest smile that tasted bitter when you remembered it. They calculated every detail, every angle, every weakness, and you were nothing but a chess piece, a commodity to them, a sacrifice for their greed. They thought they could measure your value with coins. They thought that your spirit could be weighed on scales lined with paper and numbers. Nah, they couldn't. And here's the truth. They will never admit. The world can hand you betrayal like a gift, but it cannot touch what is unseen, what is internal, what refuses to bow. You were measured, dissected, and dismissed. They threw their dice and rolled their plans, imagining victory in the chaos of your fall. They whispered in closed rooms, laughed in muted tones, and made their deals in the dark, thinking the night itself was on their side. But did they see you? Did they see that every silent moment, every bruise, every sleepless hour was not weakness? It was an incubation. It was preparation. Pain is a teacher, and betrayal is a mirror. They thought sacrifice meant control. They thought removing you from the equation would guarantee their success. But power is never so simple. You cannot be caged by greed. You cannot be silenced by fear. Every step they took to break you, they only tightened the chains that would forge your strength. Every plot, every knife in the back, every whisper meant to harm you, it became fuel. It became a pulse, a rhythm, a signal that your time to rise was coming. And as you watched, quietly, letting the illusion of your surrender settle like dust around them, a realization flickered. They were not gods. They were gamblers. Blind, desperate, small, and they had chosen wrong. Oh yes, they sacrificed you, thinking their coins would bring satisfaction. But satisfaction never comes to those who trade the spirit for fleeting gain. So here you are, bruised, tested, but not broken. Every calculation they made, every plan to take from you, every hand extended in feigned friendship, it now lies exposed. And what they don't understand yet is simple, savage, and undeniable. You are already rising from the ashes they thought they created. Pain is not the enemy. Forgetting your worth is, At first, you thought the world had ended. Every betrayal, every whisper of greed, every hand that turned against you screamed defeat. But defeat is not a permanent residence. It's a corridor. A shadow you pass through before stepping into the light you never knew you carried. You felt the sting, the emptiness, the frustration bubbling in your chest, and for a moment you believed that their coins, their power, their deceit could truly shape your destiny. Nah, they couldn't. Every attempt to crush you, every trap laid meticulously by those who thought themselves clever, only sharpened your senses. You learned to read the room before it spoke. You learned the patterns behind smiles and the weight behind empty promises. Oh, wow. Every sneer, every calculated glance became data. Every betrayal was a message, a test, a blueprint for the person you were meant to become. They underestimated one thing. You are not a reflection of their ambition. You are not a product of their greed. You are a storm in the making, silent at first, but unstoppable when you gather momentum. Their coins cannot buy loyalty, their schemes cannot measure patience, and their power cannot contain awareness. And the most intoxicating truth, the more they pushed, the more they tried to own you, the more alive you became. Your anger, your hurt, your frustration. They transformed into something sharper. Focus, clarity, purpose. You are no longer reacting. You are observing, calculating, learning, preparing for the moment when their illusions collide with reality. Look closely. Every plan they made, every strategy they believed would trap you, is already unraveling. They see only the surface, the immediate, the tangible, but the mind, the will, the silent strength cannot be measured. They sacrificed you thinking the outcome was theirs to claim, but outcomes are not theirs to take. You are the unseen force, the quiet reckoning, the truth that will not bow. So you watch, you wait, you breathe. Every heartbeat, every moment of silence, every pause in the chaos is a drumbeat of preparation. They don't know it yet. They don't see the rise, but it's there, and it is inevitable. Every betrayal, every coin spent on your supposed downfall, every whisper of triumph at your expense has only built the foundation of your untouchable self. Steel is forged by fire, not comfort. Oh wow. Look at yourself. Really look. Scarred, tested, bruised. Every cut, every sleepless night, every betrayal has left a mark. Not a weakness, but a blueprint. Every attempt to bend you, to break you, to buy you, has only sharpened your edges. You are no longer the person they thought they could discard. You are steel, tempered, hardened, unyielding. Yeah, it burns. Every memory, every moment they tried to crush you, still smolders in your mind, and you feel it. Raw, electric, insistent. That spark, once fragile, is now a roaring flame. Nah, it cannot be ignored. Every plan they laid to own you, every whispered scheme, every coin they imagined they earned at your expense, became hammer strikes on your spirit. And now, that hammer has shaped something untouchable. They sacrificed you for money, for control, for illusion. And yet the irony is delicious. Their greed, their short-sightedness, their obsession with immediate gain created the foundation of your power. Oh wow. Every miscalculation, every underestimation, every corner-cutting attempt to dominate you only forged your clarity. You see patterns they cannot see. You anticipate moves they cannot predict. You are not reacting, you are constructing. And here's the truth that will make them tremble when it comes. They gave you nothing that could hurt you, but everything that could make you unstoppable. Their sacrifices, their coins, their manipulations. They are now the raw materials of your rise. Every attack, every betrayal, every attempt to claim victory failed before it even began. You are no longer expendable. You are not a pawn. You are the storm they never accounted for. Oh wow. Every strike that once cut deep now resonates as strength. Every loss, every dismissal, every whispered lie is a reminder. They made a grave mistake thinking they could control the uncontrollable. They built a cage around you, but forgot how to lock it. Yeah, it's time to see the truth. Look closely. Every whisper, every coin, every plan they believed would chain you is crumbling. Oh wow, their illusion of control is fragile. Every structure they built on your supposed defeat is hollow. They thought they were architects of your downfall, but nah, they were amateurs playing with fire. And the fire is in you. They never understood the cruelest fact about greed. It blinds the greedy. They believed the sacrifice of another could secure their satisfaction. They assumed their dominance, their deals, their manipulations were enough. But dominance built on fear, on illusion, on the suffering of others, is empty. You see it now. Every strategy they executed, every whisper meant to intimidate, every attempt to claim victory at your expense, backfired before it landed. Every coin spent on your defeat, a lesson. Every sneer meant to wound, a spark of clarity. Every betrayal, fuel for the storm inside you. Oh wow. The power of patience, focus, and clarity is more lethal than any scheme they could devise. You waited, you observed, you learned. And now the subtle patterns, the hidden intentions, the greed that once masked their plans, it all lies exposed before your eyes. They sacrificed you for money. And still, the prize they thought was theirs is gone, completely out of reach. Nah, they never had it. Every whisper of their imagined victory echoes against a wall of your resilience. They cannot touch the strength you have forged. They cannot bend the steel you have become. Their greed, their short-sightedness, their blind pursuit of gain has all but guaranteed your rise. Oh wow, the irony is perfect. They thought the sacrifice of you would secure their future. Instead, they built the very foundation of your untouchable self. Every attack intended to diminish you amplified your clarity, your focus, your power. And now you stand, unshaken, untouchable, undeniable. Their coins, their schemes, their manipulations, meaningless. Their triumph, imaginary. And the world, slowly but inevitably, will feel the ripple of the truth they ignored. You were never theirs to claim. You were never a pawn. You were never expendable. Every move they made to contain you has ensured their failure. Yeah, now comes the moment they will regret, underestimating what cannot be bought, what cannot be stolen, what cannot be broken. The world wanted a puppet. They got a storm. Oh wow, this is it. The moment they never imagined. The very essence of what they sacrificed has become untouchable. They thought chains could hold you, that coins could define you, that betrayal could break you. Nah, they were mistaken. Every move they made, every plot they laid, every whispered plan only built the force you are now. Every strike meant to diminish you now echoes as your power. Every attack, every insult, every deception amplified the fire within. You walk through their shadows like a storm no one sees coming. The calm before chaos, that was you. Studying, waiting, learning. Oh yeah. They believed they controlled the board. They believed the game was theirs, but the board has changed. And the storm moves only as you command it. They sacrificed you for gain, for control, and gained nothing. Absolutely nothing. The prize they imagined? An illusion, a mirage, a failure wrapped in their own arrogance. Every scar, every sleepless night, every instance of being overlooked is now armor. They see the surface. They see only the calm exterior. They do not see the strength forged in fire, the clarity carved from pain, the intelligence born of betrayal. You are untouchable, unpredictable, unstoppable. Oh, wow. Their expectations were chains, but chains cannot bind wind, cannot trap the storm, cannot contain the force of one who knows their own worth. Look closely. Every plan, every whisper, every greed-driven scheme against you is now evidence of their short-sightedness. They thought sacrifice could buy them victory. They thought taking from you could guarantee gain. And yet here you are, standing unbroken, unshaken, undeniable. Nah, they cannot reach what has been forged beyond their comprehension. The world will feel it, slowly, undeniably, relentlessly. Every glance, every subtle tremor in the balance of power, every moment they underestimated you becomes a lesson they cannot ignore. You are no longer a player. You are the game. Every attempt to claim victory over you is a demonstration of their failure. Every coin spent to buy your obedience, now meaningless. Every betrayal meant to harm you, now fuel. Every dismissal, every doubt, now a hammer forging your legacy. Oh, wow. You have risen. You have endured. You have transformed. They sacrificed you, and still they got nothing. Nothing but a glimpse of what they could not understand, could not measure, could not conquer. You are untouchable. You are the storm, and the world, slowly or violently, will bow to the force of what they tried to destroy. And here we are. Yeah, we made it to the edge of the truth. You saw it. You felt it. Every betrayal, every scheme, every greedy hand that tried to take you down and failed. Miserably. Oh, wow. Can you feel it? That power? That fire? That untouchable storm inside you? Remember this. They sacrificed you for money and still didn't get what they wanted. And the best part, that story, that struggle, that rise, it's yours. Every scar, every sleepless night, every silent battle has made you stronger, sharper, unstoppable. Nah, don't let anyone ever tell you otherwise. So I want to see it. Yeah, I mean it. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share your story, your rise, your untouchable truth. Shout it loud. Let the world hear. You are not a pawn. You are the storm, and the storm wins. And hey, to my warriors watching right now, you are legendary. You are noticed. You are respected, even if the world tries to ignore you. This tribute, it's yours. Keep your focus, keep your strength, keep your fire alive, because what they sacrificed only built your empire. So go ahead, like, comment, share, and remember, every moment you survived, every obstacle they threw, made you the untouchable force you were always meant to be. This is your rise, your moment, your story, and it's far from over.
Hello, you beautiful disaster. You walking contradiction. You masterpiece they tried to throw in the trash. Yeah, you. Pull up for a second, because what I'm about to say isn't for the faint-hearted. It's for the one who got abandoned like a glitch in someone else's system, destroyed without mercy, and somehow, you crawled out of that wreckage and became the only resurrection they'll ever see. Listen closely, because this is about you. You know what's funny? People love to act like they're experts on your worth. They'll look at you, confused, threatened, whatever, and decide your mistake, just like that. Boom. File deleted, and you carry that around, don't you? Like it's tattooed on your spine. You remember every shove, every ghosting, every "you're too much," every "you're not enough." You remember how fast they dropped you when you stopped serving their narrative. But here's the part they never expected. You didn't stay where they left you. You didn't stay curled up in the corner like some discarded draft of a person. No, life put you through a shredder, and you somehow stood up. Pieces falling off, heart still beating like, not done, not yet. You were supposed to break. The whole script depended on it. They needed you to disappear, so their world wouldn't have to face the truth of what they did. But you're not built like that, are you? There's something in you. Something stubborn, something unreasonable. Something that refuses to die even when you feel like maybe it'd be easier if it did. And that is what scares them. See, people don't fear your weakness. They fear your resurrection. They fear the moment you realize the power of coming back from a place they never survived themselves. They fear that once you rise, you'll stop apologizing for breathing, for taking up space, for daring to exist in a world that tried to kick you out of it. Let me tell you a secret nobody ever said out loud because it makes them uncomfortable. You were never the mistake. You were the correction, the plot twist, the one thing in their tidy little story they couldn't control. They didn't abandon you because you were broken. They abandoned you because you were a mirror. And mirrors, oh, they terrify people who don't want to see themselves. So they destroyed you without mercy, or tried to. They used words like knives, silence like poison, distance like punishment. They threw you into emotional freefall and expected you to vanish on impact. But you didn't vanish. You didn't evaporate. You didn't beg for permission to exist. You learned. You learned the language of survival. You learned that love without loyalty is just manipulation with lipstick. You learned that sometimes you have to lose people to find your spine again. And yeah, you learned the hard way, but the hard way is the one that actually sticks. And then, slowly, painfully, beautifully, you emerged, not as some shiny, perfect version of yourself. No, let's not romanticize trauma like it's a glow-up tutorial. You emerged messy, raw, a little unhinged in the most deliciously honest way. You emerged with scars that spelled out your name like a signature. And that version of you, the one built from shards, the one who stood up again even when your voice shook, the one who realized no one was coming to save you, so you became the damn savior. That version of you is their resurrection, not because you owe them healing, not because you're here to redeem their guilt, but because every time they see you alive, really alive, they're forced to confront the truth. They didn't break you. They only broke the illusion that you needed them. And now you walk through your life with this strange, quiet power. This vibe that says, I know what it costs to survive myself. You can't take anything from me now. People feel that when you enter a room. They feel the weight of someone who's been to hell and took notes. They feel the presence of someone who rebuilt their soul from ashes and didn't ask for applause. And you know what's the most messed up, delicious part? The same people who treated you like a disposable draft now study you like gospel. They watch how you move. They listen to your words. They try to imitate the strength they once mocked. Because deep down, they know you became something they can't replicate. You became someone forged, not manufactured. Someone tempered, not tamed. Someone who outgrew the grave they dug for you. You don't need revenge. You are the revenge. Your survival is the plot twist of their lifetime. And I need you to hear this, really hear it. You're allowed to take up space now. You're allowed to rewrite the story. You're allowed to stop shrinking to fit the places you've outgrown. You're not here to be liked. You're not here to be understood. You're here because you refused to die where they left you. And every time that line echoes in your head, something in you wakes up a little harder, a little colder, a little clearer. Because once you've been thrown away like that, you stop begging to be recycled. You start to realize how many times you tried to prove your value to people who were emotionally bankrupt anyway. You remember answering texts in seconds for people who'd leave you on read for days. You remember shrinking your dreams, softening your voice, dumbing yourself down, just to keep the peace. You remember walking on eggshells in rooms where you were the only one bleeding, and it hits you. You weren't loved. You were used. You weren't understood. You were consumed. You were the light bulb in a room full of people who never once paid the electricity bill. And here's the crazy part. You still tried, even while you were being abandoned, even while they were emotionally ghosting you, spiritually benching you, mentally smashing your self-esteem like it was nothing. You still tried to explain yourself, to be fair, to be the bigger person. You kept thinking, if I just communicate better, if I just stay kind, if I just hang in there a bit more. You thought loyalty would save something that was already dead. That's the part of you they underestimated the most, your capacity to care. They looked at that and thought, weakness. They thought, easy to manipulate. They thought, I can do anything to this person, they'll never leave. And when you finally broke, when you were crumbling at 3 a.m. staring at the ceiling, or that one chat thread, or that one memory on loop in your head, that's when the old version of you died. Not in a poetic way, in a very ugly, real, shaking hands, can't eat, can't sleep. What is even the point of me kind of way? You know what I'm talking about. You know what it's like to feel like your chest is full of glass, every breath slicing you from the inside. You know how it feels when your brain turns into a courtroom where you are the defendant, the prosecutor, the judge, and the audience, all at once, replaying every mistake, every word, every failure. You didn't just hurt, you blamed yourself for hurting. I should have known better. I should have seen the red flags. I should have left sooner. I should have been stronger. You turned the knife on yourself because that's what you were conditioned to do. If something went wrong, it must be you. You must be the glitch. You must be the mistake. But that was never the truth. The truth is uglier and simpler at the same time. You were surrounded by people who didn't know how to hold something rare without trying to own it, control it, or break it. Your depth intimidated them. Your loyalty exposed their selfishness. Your honesty threatened their lies. Your capacity to suffer and still love made them feel small. And you know what small people do when they feel small around you? They don't grow. They try to cut you down. They abandoned you not because you were empty, but because you were overflowing in ways they couldn't match. And instead of admitting that, they threw you away and pretended you were the problem. That's the world you're in. A world where people will drop you because you make them feel the weight of their own mediocrity. A world where your love is taken like a resource and repaid with silence. A world where your breakdown is background noise to those who think only their pain counts. And even in that kind of world, you still rose. You dragged yourself out of bed on days where gravity felt like a personal attack. You answered messages when your soul felt muted. You pushed yourself to keep going, to keep functioning, to keep showing up in a life that felt like it had already decided you were extra footage. That's resurrection, right there. Not the flashy comeback montage. The quiet decision to keep existing when disappearing feels easier. You rebuilt from nothing. No apology, closure, no proper goodbye, no justice, just you. Just your mind, your heart, your shaking hands, your stubborn soul that refused to flatline. You learned to be your own witness to your own survival. No audience, no clapping, just you seeing you, day after day. That's where the power came from. It didn't come from proving anybody wrong. It came from finally getting tired of doubting yourself. It came from that one exhausted moment where you thought, if I'm going to keep waking up, I might as well wake up as myself. Not as the people pleaser, not as the punching bag, not as the emotional therapist for broken people who never once asked how you were. You snapped out of it, piece by piece. You stopped chasing explanations from people who couldn't explain themselves. You stopped trying to fix connections that were built on your self-abandonment. You stopped idolizing the ones who watched you fall and stepped over you. And that's when something shifted. People started noticing. The ones who used to expect instant replies felt the delay. The ones who guilt-tripped you felt the silence hit back. The ones who played the victim when you set a boundary crashed into a wall they never saw coming. You. Suddenly, you weren't as available. You weren't as soft in the wrong directions. You weren't as forgiving when the behavior didn't change. You weren't handing out infinite chances like coupons anymore. That wasn't you becoming cold. That was you finally becoming calibrated. Because you're not here to be anyone's emotional landfill. You're not here to be the strong one who quietly collapses off-screen. You're not here to be the extra character in a movie where you do all the healing work and get written out of the final scene. You are the resurrection of every version of you that died trying to be lovable enough. Every time you say no with a steady voice, a dead version of you smiles. Every time you walk away from half-effort, weak energy, breadcrumb affection, a dead version of you exhales in relief. Every time you choose your peace over their chaos, your future over their nostalgia, your growth over their comfort, you're resurrecting yourself again. You became the only resurrection not because they deserve to rise through you, but because your comeback drags the truth into the light, whether anyone wants it or not. They see you different now. They might not say it out loud, but they feel it. They feel it when you don't chase. They feel it when you don't crumble. They feel it when your eyes don't beg anymore. They measure. You're not the desperate version of you they remember. You're the upgraded edition that learned the price of admission to your life isn't cheap. You used to ask, why wasn't I enough for them? You've evolved into, why were they ever the standard for me? That's resurrection. And yeah, you still have scars. You still get triggered. A song comes on, a place, a smell, a time of year, and suddenly your chest tightens, and you're back in that moment. Betrayal has a long echo, and abandonment leaves fingerprints deep in your nervous system. But here's what's different now. You don't drown in it anymore. You don't mistake the flashback for reality. You don't think, I'm broken. You think, oh, this is old pain speaking. I survived this once already. You catch your own mind trying to drag you back into old stories, and you just don't sign the contract this time. You reassure yourself in ways nobody ever did for you. You talk to yourself like you deserved to be talked to the whole time. You hold your own heart with more respect than anyone ever showed it. That's the kind of thing they can't take credit for. The healing, the rebuild, the discipline, the boundaries, the standards, the self-respect that came from being disrespected one too many times. You did that. You did that in the dark. You did that with tears in your eyes and no guarantee that it'd even be worth it. And that is exactly what makes you dangerous now. Because you're not afraid of losing fake love. You've already experienced a deeper kind of loss, losing yourself. You know what it's like to sacrifice your sanity to keep a connection, and you know how empty that victory is. You're never going back to that. Not for anyone, not for a partner, not for a friend, not for family, not for the past version of you that still thinks crumbs are a feast. You're building a life where your presence is no longer a discount item. The people who walk with you from here on out will feel the difference. They'll feel that you're not chasing. They'll feel that you're not clinging. They'll feel that you're choosing. Because you understand something essential now. Anything you have to betray yourself to keep was never meant for you. And you're done betraying yourself. You were abandoned like a mistake, and that pain rewired you. It rewired your tolerance. It rewired your expectations. It rewired the way you read people, the way you feel energy in a room, the way you react when someone shows you who they are. You no longer need 10 chances to believe red flags. You no longer swallow discomfort just to keep the vibe chill. You no longer ignore your intuition just because you're scared of being alone. You've been alone. You've been lonely, surrounded by people. You've sat in rooms where your soul was screaming and your mouth was smiling. You're done with that. You're walking as the proof that being destroyed didn't end you. It revealed you. It stripped away the illusions, the roles, the masks, the performance. The good version of you that kept everyone comfortable, gone. The raw, honest, fully alive version of you that doesn't perform just to be picked. That's who's here now. And whether they admit it or not, they need that version of you. They need the you that sets boundaries, because that forces them to examine how they treat people. They need the you that refuses to tolerate manipulation, because that exposes their patterns. They need the you that rose from abandonment, because it proves survival is possible even when everything collapses. You are living evidence that being discarded isn't the end of the story. You're living proof that what they called the end was just an unplanned rebirth. You learned to walk again with a spine made of every never again you whispered through tears. You learned to breathe again with lungs full of air nobody had to grant you. You learned to speak again with a tongue that no longer bends itself to keep predators comfortable. You stand there now, different, heavier with truth, lighter without their weight. And every step you take from this point on sends shockwaves back into every version of you that thought it wasn't going to make it. And that right there messes with people. You get that, right? They thought your story was over. They treated you like a canceled show, like, yeah, that one flopped. And then one day they look up and there you are, walking in with this quiet, dangerous calm, like you've seen the ending and refused to accept it. You carry yourself different. You talk different. You look at people different. You don't beg with your eyes anymore. You analyze with them. And people feel that. Even the ones who don't have the language for it. They feel it in their nervous system. They can't play you the same way. and that unnerves them, because earlier you were accessible. They knew which guilt button to press, which compliment to drop, which threat of distance to use. They knew exactly how to keep you in orbit. You were the sun in their sky, but they handed you a flashlight and said, "Be grateful." And the thing is, you believed them for a while. You believed that you were asking for too much. You believed that wanting consistency was clingy. You believed that feeling hurt was overreacting. You believed that needing effort back made you dramatic. Whole time, you were just human. Whole time, you were just trying to love and be loved without having to bleed out for every ounce of it. That old version of you, the one who swallowed their needs just to keep someone from walking away, that version lived on fear. Fear of being alone, fear of being replaced, fear of being too much, fear of confirming this disgusting little suspicion deep down that maybe you really were the mistake. And then came the abandonment, the real one, the brutal one, the watch them ignore your existence like you were never there one, the see them treat strangers better than they ever treated you one. That kind of pain doesn't just sting, it rearranges the furniture in your soul. You remember how it sat in your chest, right? That heavy feeling, like you swallowed a stone. Losing them hurt, yeah, but the deeper pain was the story that followed it. If I was worth anything, they wouldn't have left. That thought is a parasite. It chews through your self-respect, eats your sleep, hijacks your appetite, turns everything into a referendum on your value. You start reliving every second, picking yourself apart like a crime scene. And in that spiral, something wild happened. You hit this point where you couldn't sink any lower in your own eyes. You hit rock bottom, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Thing about rock bottom, people talk about it like it's the end. It isn't. It's the ground floor. You hit that hard floor, and from there, you had a choice. Stay face down and call it destiny, or use that floor as a base to push off from. And you, even if you didn't realize it, started pushing. Tiny things at first. Getting out of bed when your brain screamed, "Stay down." Answering a call instead of ghosting the whole world. Taking a shower when everything felt pointless. Eating something when the thought of food made your stomach twist. Those little acts, those were resurrections before you had a name for them. Your heart was grieving, your mind was glitching, your body was tired, yet you kept doing these small rebellions against your own collapse. That's not weakness, that's spiritual violence in your favor. You are resurrecting yourself in boring, unglamorous ways, while they were out there acting like you were already deleted. And over time, that added up. One day you catch yourself laughing for real, and it hits you. Wait, I thought that part of me was gone. You catch yourself defending yourself instead of just taking the hit. You catch yourself saying, "No, that doesn't work for me," instead of, "Yeah, it's fine," while dying inside. You catch yourself not checking their socials, not reading into every post, not obsessing over what they're doing without you. That's resurrection, not just of your life, but of your standards, of your self-worth, of your spine. And here's where it flips from sad to powerful. At some point, the energy shifts. You stop chasing closure. You stop needing apologies. You stop trying to understand people who can't even understand themselves. You start focusing on your growth, your bag, your peace, your actual future, instead of repeatedly autopsying a dead situation. And that's when they feel it. The call doesn't come when you're shattered and waiting by the phone. It comes when you finally stopped watching. The message doesn't land when you're crying on the floor. It lands when you're busy building something. Their curiosity doesn't peak while you're broken. It spikes when they realize you're not orbiting them anymore. Suddenly they check in. Suddenly they miss you. Suddenly they had a dream about you. Suddenly they hope you're doing okay. All right, listen up, you beautiful, walking red flags. Yeah, I'm talking to you. The one who had grown adults shaking over a 3-year-old, you. At age 3, you weren't cute to them. You were threatening, you're 3. You're barely forming sentences. You're still mispronouncing half your words. And somehow, full-grown adults, people paying bills, driving cars, signing documents, are low-key scared of you. Not because you hurt anyone, not because you did anything wrong, but because your presence made something in them twitch. You ever feel that? That weird tension when you walked into a room as a kid? You don't know why, but suddenly everybody goes quiet. People exchange looks. Someone forces a smile that doesn't reach their eyes. The air gets heavy, and you're just standing there like, did I do something? You didn't. They did. See, the problem was never you were a bad kid. The problem was you noticed too much, even at 3. You noticed who lied, even when you didn't know the word lie. You noticed who smiled at you but hated your existence. You noticed who only hugged you when someone else was watching. You noticed the mood shifts, the fake jokes, the slammed doors, the way everyone pretended everything was fine when it so obviously wasn't. And that made you dangerous, because people can keep up an act around each other. But around a child who can feel everything, that act starts tearing at the edges, so they didn't look at you and think, wow, what a gifted kid. They looked at you and thought, if this one ever finds the words for what they're feeling, we're exposed. So they moved to plan B. Make the kid doubt themselves before they even know who they are. That's the nasty shit in the shadows. No meeting, no official memo, just quiet decisions like, don't believe them when they say something happened. Laugh when they cry. Call them dramatic. Tell everyone they always exaggerate. Keep them confused. Keep them small. You're 3. You're staring at giants, and the giants are already running PR against you, and you're wondering, why does the room feel so cold when I walk in? Because they're already defending themselves from a future version of you. They saw who you might become. You didn't, not yet. You grew up thinking you were the problem. That's the cruel part. You thought, I'm too much. I make people uncomfortable. I must be bad if grown-ups are upset around me. Nah, you didn't break the room. You just turned the lights on, and people who live in mess hate the damn light. So they didn't just ignore you. They trained you. They trained you to second-guess what you feel. Over-explain every reaction. Apologize just for existing in the wrong tone. Scan everyone's faces before you say anything, just to make sure it's safe. You became a specialist in shrinking. And here's the sick irony. The very thing they were scared of is the thing you're still trying to bury. Your sensitivity, your intensity, your perception, your unwillingness to swallow bullshit without choking. They knew those things would grow into something powerful, so they tried to poison the soil early. Think about it. Why do you feel guilty when you sense something's off? Why do you say, maybe I'm crazy? After every instinct, why do you play dumb when you're actually 10 steps ahead in your head? Because every time your radar pinged as a kid, someone looked you dead in your soul and said, no, that's not real. You're imagining things. Stop being weird. Stop being difficult. They weren't correcting you. They were protecting themselves. You weren't crazy. You were accurate. And accuracy in the wrong environment? that's a threat. Now fast forward, you're older, and you still carry that little 3-year-old inside, constantly worrying. Am I overreacting? Am I the toxic one? Maybe I read too deep into stuff. Maybe it's my fault they treated me like that. Let me flip it for you. What kind of grown person looks at a 3-year-old and feels threatened? Not a healthy one. If a child's energy scares you, it's because it's shining on something you're trying to hide. You weren't the monster in the house. You were the ghost that refused to let the monsters sleep. You were that silent little judgment they felt every time they did something foul and looked over and saw you just watching. Not clapping, not buying it, just staring with those two honest eyes, and they hated it. So they did what cowards do in every era. They attacked the witness. That's you. They discredited you. They mocked you. They made you the problem child. They joked about how intense you were. They talked about you in the third person like you weren't in the room. All of that was strategy. Because if everyone thinks you're unstable, then nobody believes you when you finally speak. That's what plotting in the shadows looks like outside of movies. Not always big dramatic scenes. It's who they blamed, who they sided with, who they believed, who they ignored, a pattern, a system, built around making sure you never felt safe in your own reality. And you carried that into adulthood. You feel your chest tighten before a confrontation. You rehearse what you're going to say 5 times in your head. You prepare for people not to believe you. You shrink your tone so they don't say you're attacking them. You're not weak. You're traumatized. You've lived your whole life as if the jury has already been paid off. But here's the thing. You don't live in their house anymore. You don't sit at that table. You don't answer to their script. You're still acting like you're 3, and the adults are right. They're not. You're grown now. You've seen too much. You've survived too much. You've felt the cost of doubting yourself for years. So let me ask you this. Why are you still letting the scared people write your definition? They weren't brave enough to face themselves, so they decided to face you instead. Congratulations. You became their scapegoat, their distraction, their excuse. Why is the family like this? Oh, you know, they're just difficult. No, the family is like this because nobody wanted to look in the mirror, and the one person who could see clearly was 3 years old and alone. You know what terrifies people like that now? That you're not 3 anymore. You can actually put words to the shit you saw. You can connect dots. You can set boundaries. You can disappear. You can tell the story from your side. Their worst nightmare is you finally realizing, I wasn't the problem. I was the evidence. That's why the guilt hits so hard. Every time you think of speaking up, or cutting someone off, or choosing peace over chaos, that old programming kicks in. You're selfish, you're dramatic, you're ungrateful, you're the villain. That's not your inner voice, that's their ghost. They need you to feel like the villain so they can stay the heroes in their version. But you're allowed to walk away from that movie. You don't owe them your silence. You don't owe them access. You don't owe them the sweet version of you while they keep the same mask on. You're not 3 anymore. You're not stuck in that house. You're not begging for scraps of validation from people who couldn't even protect a child standing right in front of them. You want to know what real power looks like. It's not yelling. It's not revenge. It's not proving you're right. It's this. Looking at everything they did. Looking at everything they denied. Looking at everything they made you feel about yourself and deciding, I still choose me. Not the edited version they wanted, Not the watered-down one that doesn't scare anybody. Not the obedient little soul who keeps quiet to keep the peace. You, the version that feels deeply, the version that sees through bullshit in seconds, the version that senses weird energy before anybody else, the version that would have saved that 3-year-old if you'd walked into that house as you are now. That version, that's the one they were scared of becoming real. Too late. You're here. You are the grown version of that 3-year-old they tried to break. You are the proof that their fear was justified. Because you see everything now, and you're finally starting to believe yourself. And yeah, it still makes people nervous. You walk into rooms now, and that same energy hits. People straighten up. They adjust. They get weirdly defensive around you for no reason. But this time, you don't internalize it. You clock it. You think, my presence is doing what it's always done, shaking loose whatever's fake. And instead of asking, what's wrong with me? You start asking, what is my energy exposing in you? Different question, different life. You were never put here to be their puppet, their scapegoat, their emotional punching bag. You weren't built to be the quiet kid in the corner pretending everything's fine while your soul screams. You came in loud. You came in honest. You came in sensitive, which is just another word for highly tuned. That scared them. Good. Let it keep scaring people who thrive in darkness. Because you were born with the light on. And here's the wild part, you've been walking around acting like that light is a problem, like it's this glitch you need to fix. You know that thing you do, where you walk into a room and immediately scan everything. Who's tense, who's fake, smiling, who's low-key, annoyed you exist. You call it anxiety, you call it overthinking. You tell yourself, I'm doing too much. You're not doing too much. Your nervous system just doesn't forget. That 3-year-old version of you is still clocking everything, still bracing, still waiting for the shift in energy, still expecting love to have fine print underneath it. You feel people pull away a little. You feel when a joke isn't actually a joke. You feel when a compliment has a knife taped to the back of it. And you keep telling yourself, I'm imagining it. Because that's what they drilled into your skull. You don't imagine red flags. You remember patterns. You started dimming yourself to survive. You tried being quieter. You tried laughing things off. You tried being the chill one. You tried not calling shit out even when it burned your throat. You kept thinking, if I'm just less intense, people will stop being weird with me. They didn't get weird because you were intense. They got weird because you were awake. There's a difference. People who live in denial need everyone around them half asleep. You walked in, spiritually, wide awake, at 3. Of course, they panicked, and instead of rising to meet that energy, they dragged you down to match theirs. You learned early that being fully yourself equals tension. Being honest equals pushback. Being aware equals being labeled difficult. You would feel something was off, you'd speak on it, you'd get hit with, why are you like this? Can't you just drop it? Stop digging for drama. So you stopped speaking, but you never stopped feeling. That's why your body goes off before your brain catches up. That's why your chest tightens around certain people. That's why your stomach drops in certain environments. That's why you feel exhausted after pretending you're fine. You trained yourself to ignore your own alarm system because the people causing the fire told you the alarm was overreacting. Everything about you that made them nervous is everything about you. That would have saved you earlier if you were allowed to trust it. You weren't unstable, you were accurate, too early for their comfort. Take a second and really replay it. All those times you were treated like a liability, The way adults would share weird looks over your head. The way they'd change the subject when you walked in. The way they'd send you to another room when certain conversations started. The way they'd talk about you with this tone, like you were some problem they got stuck with. You internalized that. You turned their fear into your shame. Here's the twist. Their fear was never proof you were dangerous. It was proof you were powerful. The kind of powerful that doesn't need a stage. The kind of powerful that just stands in the room and exposes whatever isn't real. That's why even now, you explain yourself more than anybody asked you to. You're not just explaining the present. You're trying to defend that 3-year-old who never stood a chance in that house. You keep talking like you're on trial, like every sentence needs evidence attached, like any wrong move and you'll be voted problem of the year again. You're not on trial. You just grew up in a place where everything felt like a case against you. You noticed who switched up when someone walked in. You noticed who was nice to your face and cold in their energy. You noticed which adult had that darkness in their eyes they hid behind jokes. That's not imagination, that's awareness. They were studying ways to keep you manageable. You were studying the truth without knowing you were doing it. They turned your entire childhood into a campaign to sabotage your relationship with yourself. Because if you trusted yourself, you'd stop trusting them. That was the real danger. Not your tantrums, not your attitude, not your crying too much. Your potential to wake up one day and say, wait, that wasn't love. You carry this weird built-in guilt for making people uncomfortable, like it's your job to keep the energy soft for everyone. Like you owe the room smoothness, even if it's killing you. You feel that dip in energy around certain people. And instead of thinking, my body is warning me, you think, I need to be more pleasant. You're doing emotional customer service for people who would have thrown your 3-year-old self under the bus without blinking. You're still trying to earn kindness from people who had one job and fumbled it, protect the child. They chose protecting their image. Instead, your existence is not a PR problem. You don't have to rebrand your personality to make damaged adults feel secure. You get quiet around disrespect because you were punished for reacting. You swallow your anger because angry child got you labeled. You simplify your language because smart kid talking triggered fragile egos. You pretend you don't understand as much as you do, just to avoid the, oh, you think you're better? Comments. You're not arrogant, you're not rude, you're not dramatic, you're not too emotional. You're just not built for fake spaces, and you keep trying to force yourself to fit in them. Think about every time you ignored your gut to keep peace. That friend you knew was off, but you stayed because you didn't want to be judgmental. That relative who made your skin crawl, but you were forced to be respectful. That partner whose energy drained you, but you stayed because you thought, maybe it's me. You betray yourself every time. And it feels familiar because that's what 3-year-old you had to do. Daily, your first betrayal wasn't of them. It was of yourself. You silenced your own spirit to survive the room. Fast forward, you're still doing it on autopilot. You feel weird. You deny it. You feel hurt. You minimize it. You feel used. You justify it. You weren't born that way. You were trained. You had adults terrified at age 3. Not because you were dangerous, because you were unedited. You didn't know how to fake your reactions yet. You didn't know how to pretend everything was fine. You didn't know how to smile when it hurt. You just reacted honestly. They couldn't handle that level of honesty from a child, because if your reactions were valid, their behavior was exposed. Easier to stamp you as too sensitive than to admit they were too cruel. too careless, too selfish. That label stuck to your skin like a tattoo. You carry it into every room you walk into. You crack a boundary and immediately feel like you're being too harsh. You tell someone they hurt you and instantly follow it with, "But it's not a big deal, don't worry about it." You distance yourself and then sit there feeling like you're some villain in a movie. You got cast as villain in a story written by people who never learned how to be accountable. You're still acting according to that script. You still think stepping into your power equals becoming the bad guy. Here's the part they never planned for. You grew up. You still feel everything you felt as a kid. Only difference is you can name it now. You can say, "That was emotional neglect." You can say, "That was manipulation." You can say, "That was projection." You can say, "That was not love, that was control." They gambled on you never getting the vocabulary. They underestimated your upgrade. They hoped if they hit your self-worth early enough, you'd spend your life apologizing instead of remembering. You remember anyway, even when you tell yourself you don't. You remember in your triggers, in your habits, in the way you freeze when someone raises their voice, in the way you panic at calm faces turning cold. Those are flashbacks your body is having in real time. You keep thinking healing means not feeling any of that. Healing also means finally listening to it. You spent years pushing down that inner voice because it made other people uncomfortable. You can't push it down and call that maturity. That's just self-abandonment in a nicer font. You were told you were too aware, like that's a flaw. You were told you notice everything, with that annoyed tone, as if you're supposed to apologize for seeing clearly. That level of awareness in the wrong place is torture. In the right place, it's leadership. Same trait, different environment, different result. You got gaslit into believing your clarity is chaos, when in reality, other people's chaos just didn't stand a chance around your clarity. You're not meant to be the quiet extra in the background of other people's damaged storyline. Your energy was never built for background roles. You're the one who walks in and the whole dynamic gets exposed. All the fake bonds, all the forced smiles, all the power imbalances. Everything starts glitching when you show up as your real self. That's why people either deeply respect you or deeply resent you. Neutral reactions to you are rare. You've noticed that. There's the crowd that feels understood by you, drawn to you. They open up fast. They feel seen. They relax around you because your honesty gives them permission to drop the act. Then there's the other crowd, the ones that feel off immediately. They feel watched, judged, threatened. Even when you're literally just existing, they start cracking jokes about you. They keep you slightly on the outside. They war with you in petty ways. They test you. They misinterpret you on purpose. You start wondering if you're the issue. You're not. You're the mirror. And a mirror in front of someone who refuses reflection feels like an attack. You're not attacking. You're just not lying with them. They spent your childhood trying to get you to believe less in yourself. Because a version of you that believes in your own perception fully is uncontrollable. You don't run back to abusers if you trust your instinct. You don't tolerate crumbs from people who showed their hand. You don't explain your boundaries 8 different ways to make them palatable. That version of you, the one that trusts your own read. They were terrified of that. You already walked into their life once as a child, with that energy raw and unfiltered, and even then they panicked. You're starting to walk like that again, just with more scars, more context, more vocabulary, more precision in your cuts. The same light they kept trying to smother still hasn't gone out. You tried to bury it under people-pleasing and self-doubt. It keeps burning through anyway. You notice when someone is using you. even while you're trying to convince yourself they're not. You feel it when a space isn't safe, even while you're forcing yourself to stay polite. You sense when someone's energy shifts toward resentment, even while they're still smiling and saying all the right words. And every time you feel those things, that old tape starts playing in your head. Stop being weird. Stop reading into everything. Stop being dramatic. You're not dramatic. You're just not lying to yourself as effectively as they do. You don't need fewer feelings. You need fewer environments that punish you for having them. You don't need to water down your intuition. You need to stop treating it like an optional feature.